Come on. Yeah, I was going to say, geez, Google, come on, let's kick it in here. What's going on? It's like waiting slowly. All right, ready, John? Edit here. Hello, and welcome to Devlandia. How are you doing today? I'm iPad Sammy. I'm down in Austin. Oh, wait, no, I'm not in Austin, Texas. I moved to Portland. I'm in Portland, Oregon. But over in Texas, we have our lovely and talented co-host with his beautiful Houston Colt 45s hat on, and his name is...
Jake Duncan. And on the Twitters, I am at JKDNCN.
That's his name without vowels, in case you were wondering. And we are very happy to have with us on the show today over in Austin, Texas. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Nilen.
Hi, I'm Nilen Patel.
And what is your app?
My app's called Break Free. It's a game that's going to be on the App Store.
There we go. Okay, now, Nilen, your claim to fame is also that who is your fourth grade advanced math teacher?
You are.
That's right, I was and still am. All right, that's good. So, unfortunately for Nilen, he's had a whole year of me trying to teach him advanced math. And really, Nilen, would you say that I was a techie person back then, my first year in Texas? Did you think of me as a tech-savvy teacher?
No, I thought you were more of a football fan.
That's right.
Like football cards.
Right, and so that is, we used to play fantasy football math all the time, right? And that was always fun, and we did do the football cards. But, right, I wasn't very tech-savvy back then, and that was 2007, and Nilen is now a junior at Westlake High School, correct?
Yep.
All right. And we're happy to have you on here. Devlandia, this is our second episode, and we just like to talk to developers and see what's going on in the world. And we think that Nilen is really outstanding because he just started his first day of junior as a upperclassman in high school, and he already in 4 short days will have his first app on the App Store. So, Nilen, why don't you go ahead? I'm going to shut up now and go ahead and give us the story of how you got started creating your app.
Okay. Well, over the summer, I wanted to do something as a hobby, and so I found this app called Codia in the App Store. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about the language, actually, and I just wanted to mess around with the game and see where it would take me. After a few days playing with the game, or the app, I started to realize that you could actually transfer the projects in the app to Xcode. And Xcode lets you publish the apps in the App Store, and it's really easy to do it from there. So once I figured out about that export feature, I started to make a game, actually. The first few attempts I started to make it wasn't successful, but it allowed me to learn the language. And the language is Lua. It's a bit different from Objective-C and Java that we learn in school. And it's very easy because the development is on the iPad. So you don't need to mess around with the Mac and all its functions. It's very easy to touch and change colors, change the text. And once I started getting to know the language, I started to make the idea for the app. And I like basketball, and so there's a bunch of apps on the App Store that allow you to maybe flick a basketball into a hoop. And so I thought maybe a 2D game about flicking balls would be a good idea. And I just went from there, and now it became a full-blown game.
That's really interesting. So you just started off, so you're sitting there, and this is just this last summer right here, the one you just finished?
Yep.
So you're sitting there and you're going like this. I'm really bored. I don't know what to do. I know, I'll make an app. And then you just did it, right? See, that's how easy it is. I love that. That's great. Jake, have you used Codia before? I have.
I have just a couple of times. I've just played with it a little bit, but it sounds like it's I need to check it out again.
Yeah,
I'm sure I didn't know about being able to export to Xcode, so that's very cool.
Right now, Nilen, I know that when they're going through now, Jake would know about this too probably. Is Xcode still? Can you use that still to create apps? Even though isn't there a new app language coming out in the Apple Store, Jake? That isn't there some new specifications with the iOS 8 update that's coming out pretty soon?
Yeah, well, Apple came out with Swift, I guess, at I/O.
Swift, okay.
No, that was the Google time, but yeah, that came out not too long ago. So, but I'm sure it still will, though. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. That's pretty cool. So So you get the all right. So you get the idea. So then take me through the stage. Then, so how long did it take you to come up with the idea, Nilen, and then decide to? So you played around with it. You failed a few times. Now, what
Yeah.
did you think? What did you think when you failed the first few times? Did you just give up right there and just be like, "Oh, this is too tough"?
No, I thought it was a great learning experience to perfect my abilities in the app and learn the language even more. But after I failed a few times and thought of the idea of flicking balls, that's pretty much all I had for the gameplay, with just you flicking balls on the screen. I had no other parts of the game to it, and I didn't actually have the gameplay built until mid-July maybe, so about
Wow.
1.5 months into the game. I didn't have anything else except the menu, how to navigate the app, and other things.
But that's really cool, and I think that that's important. I love what you said right there because this is, I say this all the time. You've got to sit there and you've got to be able to fail. And sometimes don't you feel like your fellow students and the Eanes School District a little bit, Nilen, they get scared in fourth grade. I remember there's a lot of kids in our class that were just scared to fail. They were scared to not be perfect, and I tried my darndest to be like, no, you've got to not be perfect. You're never going to be perfect all the time. You've got to fail. That's how you learn better, right? And I think that that's a great lesson right there. So you get that, and so in mid-July you've got the pretty much the stuff built out, and then what made you think, okay, you know what, I really want to put this into the App Store and try and make a go of it and see if I can actually get something out there and published?
I actually showed the app to a few of my friends, and they said it was really good. And after that, I started spending more time on the app, maybe like 6 hours a day, trying to make it an official app and not make it just a project that I was doing for a hobby.
So that's cool. So to bring us through now, okay, so this is even for me because I think I know this, but so what's the process of going through and how much money do you have to pay to get your money into the App Store as a developer and get a developer account, or is it free?
It costs $100 to make a developer account, and that doesn't include just the apps that you can publish. You also get special privileges such as downloading the iOS 8 beta and the Yosemite beta that came out for Mac. But mainly the $99 goes towards putting your apps in the App Store. And after you make your account, it's very easy to just set up the app in iTunes Connect. That's where you set up the app information. You submit your app via Xcode. There's a very easy way to submit it. And once you pretty much built your app in Xcode or exported it from Codia to Xcode, all you need to do is press a few buttons and you're set.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. All right, so then how did you pay for your $100? Did you borrow it from your parents, or
Yeah.
did you go and rake some leaves, clean some pools? What did you do?
No, my parents paid for it.
Okay, that's good.
They supported me.
How are your parents? Are they doing all right?
Yeah, they're doing well.
Tell them Mr. Samuelson says hello. All right, so we're going through it, and then who are the kids? Do I know any of the students that you had tested out?
I think Sid Rao and
Oh, Sid.
Brandon or Matthew Kwong.
Oh, sure. Okay, I know both those guys. Okay, that's cool. So I'm glad that you do. Do you know anybody else right now that is going through and trying to kind of imitate what you've done and create some apps, or are you just the Lone Ranger right now in the 11th grade?
Well, Jake Nathan, I know him. He's creating an app. It's a very useful app for getting feedback to the teachers from students. It'll be a very great educational app for students to use in school.
That's good. I wasn't trying to, and I know we talked about that. I wasn't trying to lead you into that one. I was just wondering if anybody else was trying the same way you are. So Jake is actually a former student, same year of mine, by the way. Notice a theme developing here. Do you notice this? And so anyway, that's really good. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you guys. And right, I can't even take close to credit because I was just a bumbling guy that liked football that had just moved down from Alaska when we first started, right? What was your first impression of me when you walked into the room for advanced math? What was your first impression? Do you remember?
I just remember you being a very exciting teacher, loved to teach. I actually really liked you as a math teacher. It really helped me through math because I didn't go through third grade math. I went through third grade regular and then skipped to fourth grade advanced, so that was a big jump for me.
Yeah, so you missed a whole grade level there.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Gosh, I had the rim shot. all cued and ready to go for your. I was trying to set you up for the one-liner right there, but you were nice to me, so thank you for that. So that's very nice.
That's what I was thinking. You should have let him have it there.
That was the one where I lob it up to you and then you just smash it down on me. But that's really cool. So now you get it to the App Store, and then you're pretty much at their mercy, correct? Once you uploaded. So when was the actual day that you uploaded and got the Xcode up there, and your developer account was all good? How long did it take you after that to get into the App Store? You know that it's going to come out on the 29th. Is that right?
Yep. Midnight.
Okay.
I think I submitted it on the 13th, and then about a week later they approved it on the 20th. During that time, I was checking every day on iTunes Connect to make sure my app was approved or not, because I didn't know if it would get rejected because I use Game Center and iAds, and I'm not sure if I implemented that correctly, but I guess I did. So that was really good that I got accepted on my first try.
Yeah, I'll say they didn't even send it back at all. I've heard so many stories of them just, sending it back. They're like the evil empire, when it comes to they're not the evil empire. I love Apple stuff. They're very proprietary, and they have their set way of doing things. So it's like if you don't have that one thing, they'll send it back. But you got it through. Jake, do you have any questions real quick? You look like you do.
Well, I wanted to know if you said that you learned a little bit of programming in school. Where would you recommend students, young people like yourself? How would you recommend them getting started with programming at all? What would just things that you think would be good for them to try out if they'd like to get into it also?
Well, if you want to use Codia, it's a great app that doesn't really require a lot of programming skill and knowledge because they have great tutorials on their website, and they have an online forum that you can use. But if you want to develop apps in Xcode, I would suggest that you look up the tutorials and videos online if you're not in high school and you can't take Comp Sci 1. But there's many great resources online that you can learn to code.
So what's one of the ones that sticks out to you? Are you just looking straight at YouTube videos and going through it, or are you thinking of like just even an online program?
Just YouTube videos for now.
YouTube video. I've noticed that a lot when I was working in Austin last year. There was a young developer that I was working with, and he wanted to build his own computer, and it was amazing how once you had the parts for it, how easy it was just watching YouTube videos. And I was so much that I was even like helping him, and I was like, oh, I just want to see this happen. And then I was like, oh, hey, I think I probably could have done it just from like the YouTube videos that were there if you had the parts. It's really interesting. It's like putting the motherboard down, and I don't know. It was really interesting to watch. But okay, so I have to say, Nilen, I'm 1 hour deep right now into Code Academy. You want to take Code Academy with me?
I actually tried that, like maybe in 8th grade.
Did you not like it?
I didn't think it provided like in-depth tutorials.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the basics.
Right, and it's more like right now for me, what I need more the ability to be able to make like front-end design for like websites. That's kind of what interests me because I'm old and boring. But so like for the first hour that I went through, I was like, okay, I've got to get another hour here so I can keep going. But that was interesting for me. So you tried that in 8th grade, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well,
it might have been 9th grade.
Does Code Academy teach you some CSS stuff? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, it does. It does. Right now, what we're trying to do is we're actually going through, and the first lesson, it was the simple first lesson, trust me on this one, and I had to sit there and go through it. But yeah, it goes through and it talks about how to just change the front end of like you're doing front end web design. So you're doing like HTML, CSS. So I think it's HTML5. So it's interesting, but yeah, it gives you like you're trying to build a travel site basically. So it gives you an actual item to do. So that's interesting. And then I think Jake just dropped out, didn't he, Nilen? See, this is the problem with Google Hangouts. Now, tell us a little bit more about what you're going to do. So, all right, so you've got the app in the App Store. You've got it going so that it's going to be free, correct? So everybody can download it once they listen. And we'll go ahead and what we do, Nilen, is we usually put all the links to the things on something called a Listly. And so that we'll put the link to Codia and some of the other links to your Facebook page, And do you want to give your Twitter handle a shout out real quick too? So I think you need to get on Twitter a little bit more.
I only have like one follower, but it's Break Free Game. We're using Facebook more than Twitter right now.
Okay. Break Free Game, and then what's your personal one?
Nilen Patel.
No, what's your Twitter handle?
Yeah, Nilen Patel.
Oh, it is. I thought it was Niley Swag.
Oh, Nilly Swag. I forgot.
Nilly Swag. I was like, I saw that one yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's funny. So yeah, you'll have to get on that one. You've only tweeted like one time in your life. So
I don't use it that much.
I found. What do you find for? Let's just talk high school right now. What do you find is the place where most kids are? And you had never used a Google Hangout, which I was surprised at. What's the one thing that kids use to connect right now in high school? What's like the go-to app or website?
Messages by Apple. I think that's the one app people use the most.
Really? Okay, just Apple Messenger. Because I didn't say this before, but Nilen's actually in a 1-to-1 iPad K through 12 district. So, all right, so just Apple Messenger, nothing robust. What would you say is your favorite app right now to use in school on your iPad?
For school, it would probably be Pages or Keynote, something like that.
Okay.
Maybe Office Suite. It provides a really great productivity.
Okay. That's good. I'm always surprised. You guys are always very honest with your, like the kids in high school are like Google Docs. We like Google Docs and things like that. What would be your favorite app? Just if you had to pick any app right now, what's your number one go-to app? I will say that as a preface, mine right now is NBA General Manager. I love that game. I play it all the time. It's like right on there. So I'm a dork. But what's your favorite app?
Tiny Wings. They came out with New Island like maybe 2 days ago.
Oh right. I saw that. So that's the new Flappy Bird, right? Tiny Wings.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that one. Is it good?
Yeah, I like it.
Talk about now. You're just gonna be like, okay, I don't want to make any more apps. I'm just gonna go ahead and play Tiny Wings all the time. No, that's my summer. Are you thinking about going ahead and continuing with this, or are you gonna wait and see how the success goes with this right now?
It depends how much time I have next summer. Like this summer I wasn't really busy, so I had enough time to do this. But maybe I will create another app next summer. It just depends. Or maybe I'll update this one and put like power-ups and multi-balls and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. So do you expect to get if you make $100 back from in-app ads, is the first 100 go back to your parents then?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was kind of a loan then. Do you think that that's a possibility that could happen then? What are your expectations for like downloads and things like that? Do you set modest expectations and then if it exceeds it then it's great, or
yeah, pretty much. I didn't plan on making like any money off the app at first. I just wanted to make it a good free app that people can download and have fun with it. But yeah, I'll just see where it takes us.
That's cool. And then so and tell us a little bit about the marketing then and what your marketing plan is for the app.
Right now we just have a Facebook page and we have SoundCloud and we have a website. The SoundCloud you can download all 3 songs that we made for free. And I mean, it might make a great ringtone for your phone.
Oh, that's cool. So did you actually compose the music?
Yep, we did it off GarageBand.
Cool. Both of you together collaborated?
Yeah.
Look at you
guys.
guys.
He made songs by himself, and I helped with that, and I made one song by myself, and he helped with that.
Well, that's good. You guys are super impressive. This is more than I could have hoped for when you sit there, and this is what I have to say. I'll say this, Jake, and I know Jake doesn't have a Facebook page, right? Jake, isn't that correct? Do you have a Facebook page? He's going to get frozen out again. I really don't like Facebook, but I do like it to keep in touch with students, and I think that's really interesting that we connected, and then I saw this on your feed, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I'm really proud of you. I think that's really great, and I think you need to keep it up.
Thank you.
Just keep going with that. I'm just like, I'll make sure that I put this on Facebook, and then we'll show it so that Miss Alkire can see it, and then Miss Alkire will be like, oh my gosh, and then she'll take all responsibility for like molding you into the student you are today. That's how Miss Alkire is. She gets all teary. She'll probably start to tear up and stuff like that. Well, anyway, thanks for being on here. We really appreciate it. So we're We're going to put all of the links to that so you can like the Facebook page. It's a free app, so we'll go ahead and download the app. And yeah, if you decide, Nilen, that you want to just keep going with things, let us know, and we'd love to check back in. I wouldn't mind even just checking back in down the line, like winter break or something, and see how the app's doing and like what your plans are and if things have changed or not. But I think it's very very interesting, and that's a good way, you know, when you're sitting around bored. See, my kids just go like this. I'm bored. I'm going to watch YouTube right now. But then you could actually go out and do something, people. That should be your motto now. It should be just do it. Wait, I think somebody already has that though, so don't do that one. You probably get sued.
Eli Nilen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Nilen, thanks for being on here. Jake, thanks for almost being on here. We have to get your Wi-Fi fixed or whatever is going on with yours. This is the second week in a row we've had problems with it. What is going on?
I don't know, yeah, driving me crazy, but I'll be playing Break Free as soon as it comes out. So I'm gonna check it out.
That's right.
I'm a big basketball fan too, so this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to tweet it out for you as well. So we'll get the links out there for you. We'll give you a little kickstart and see if we can get some downloads for you. All right, Nilen?
Thank you.
Nilen might be coming your way, Jake, and so you better fix the Wi-Fi because he's thinking about the Harvard of Texas right now. What school is the Harvard of Texas?
Rice University.
There we go. Look at that. Dun 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 dun.
It's beautiful.
Oh, there we go. That's where he's thinking about right now. But he's not really thinking about that. He's thinking about apps. All right. Well, thanks, Nilen, for being on here. We appreciate your time, taking time the first day of school. How was the first day of school? Do you have a good feeling about this school year? Junior year was a great year for me.
It was really good. It was really not as bad as I would have expected with all the APs I'm taking.
Yes, I'm sure you're under a lot of pressure because you're taking all the advanced courses and things like that. I have to say, my junior year of high school, by far and away my favorite year, K through 12. It was a fun year. So look forward to it. And Jake, do you have any last words?
No, I just want to wish him a great year, and we're looking forward to the app. And thanks for coming on and teaching us about some of those things that you've been doing. So I'm excited.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to take a closer look at Kodia because I've had that one in my queue for a while, but I'm really going to take a closer look and just use it a little bit on the side.